Hi, I'm Tracy Brown, and welcome to my 21-day body language makeover. I'm thrilled that you've decided to join me and make over your own body language at the same time. So let's do first things first. In business, there's a little bit more to know about handshakes. You ever watch the presidential debates or any kind of political debate? They'll shake each other's hands and they'll put their left hand in, or maybe they'll reach up their arm a little more with their left hand along with shaking their right. There's some really powerful messages sent in that kind of handshake. So when someone shakes your hand with their right hand, reaches in with their left hand and puts it on the back of your palm, that says, hey, I'm stepping in. I either want to show sincerity or show control. And so it's important to start to discern what feeling that they're doing that with. At the grocery store, when it's election season and your city councilman is blocking the way through the front door of the grocery store, wants to shake your hand so you vote for them. What do? They shake with their right and cover the back of your palm with their left. And so you know that they're not sincere, okay? This can be a show of sincerity. It can backfire when there's no real feeling or emotion behind it. So be careful about the reach in. Now, to the level that people reach in is the level to which they either want to show sincerity or show control. And a lot of times in the presidential and political debates, they'll reach in right up to the shoulder as far as they can into the other person's space to let them know that they're in control. Again, watch for the messages, be congruent with the message that you're sending, and you will start to see your conversations shift as a result. Hi, I'm Tracy Brown, and welcome to the 21-day body language makeover. I am thrilled that you've joined me in these 21 days so that you can remake your body language, be a lot more effective, know what's going on across from you, and learn how to strategically use your body language to persuade and influence. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about a handshake. It's the first thing that you usually do when you meet someone. Now, there's a lot of information in a handshake, so I want you to start to pay attention. First thing that you do is notice, is it a parallel shake with about even grip? This says, hey, they want to play evenly. We're on even terms here. If you get a handshake where someone shakes your hand and turns your palm up and their palm down, so they shake your hand, turn their palm down, that says they have a deep unconscious need to be in control. So you've got some choices to make. You can let them be in control. You can spin your ideas so that they think they're their ideas, and that's a really powerful place to be. Or you don't have to play their game at all if you don't want to deal with someone who's being a control freak, but not outwardly saying it. What if they shake your hand and turn their palm up? Well, that's a sign that says they want to be open and hospitable and do just about whatever you want. And again, they've given you a lot of power. So be careful what you ask for, because they are probably going to say yes to it. Make sure it's a win-win, because I'm not the karma police, but when you start to know this about them, you're going to be able to get a lot of things from them that maybe you wouldn't normally. Now, what if someone shakes your hand and gives you a bone cruncher? Like they grab your hand so hard that it hurts. Well, that's another sign that they want to be in control, and you know how to handle that. Just let them be in control, or make sure their ideas sound good to you, or make sure that you're getting them to buy into your ideas so that they own them. Now, what if you get a handshake that's like a dead fish? And you'll get this from women. We've only really been socially acceptable to handshaking since the early 80s. It's not something that we used to do. And so as a gender, we're just not as good at it. So if you get a dead fish, really limp handshake, it sends a message that there's no backbone there, there's no strength, there's no power. And in business, that's what we need is at least a little bit of strength. So if you know them, hey, let them know, you know what, your handshake could be a little more firm. You're going to send a really different message. And that's how someone coached me way back in high school about my handshakes. Now, if you meet someone from an Asian country or they have an Asian background or you're in Asia, then you may get a dead fish, very limp feeling handshake. That's polite in that culture. So you don't want to meet them with a firm grip, bone cruncher handshake because they're going to think you're rude. You're going to think they're wishy-washy, and that's not what you want. So you need to make sure you introduce some cultural acceptance and cultural understanding into shaking hands with this kind of person so that you're honoring their culture and knowing the message that they're sending, because that is a message of strength and it is a message of being very polite. So pay attention. And remember, if you don't pay attention, you pay with pain. So watch and feel, more importantly, what you're going to get from other people. You'll find it really fun. Do you think people tell you the truth all the time? Of course they don't. So wouldn't it be neat to start to understand how you can detect a lie just by someone's body language? Well, there's several things to look for, so let's get into a couple of them. First, and one of my favorites, is to notice when the body language and the words don't match. So remember, this means yes, and this means no. And so if someone says, I love that shirt, or you can ask me anything, do you think they're telling you the truth? Of course they're not. What about Bill Clinton? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. You can see it on the video clear as day. And so these are some of the things that you can start to watch for. They happen quickly. And if you don't want to stare down your friends or your family or your business partners, you can watch reality TV, watch the news, watch talk shows. Anywhere where people are filmed candidly, you will see this. Now, another way to start to understand if people are lying to you or not is to start to look at, are they itching their face? Like, are they covering their mouth? Lance Armstrong, everybody knows now, is a liar. He has lied about his drug use for years and years. And so every time he was asked, hey, do you do any of those performance-enhancing drugs? He'd say, no. Okay? So when people cover their mouth, the next thing that comes out of their mouth is often false, or there's more to say about it. So seeing this, and it happens really fast, ask some more questions. And when you add up all these little clues, head nod, cover, maybe even an itch, they might have an itch, it seems really natural, that can be a sign as well. Now, the itching, actually, it's a really deep physiological response because people, when they lie, about 80% of people connect that with anxiety. Not all people, but about 80%. And when you get anxious, your blood pressure goes up, which causes your capillaries in your face, and that's where you have most of your capillaries. It's real sensitive. They swell. So then you have an itch. Seems really natural. It's actually anxiety, can be connected to a lie. So take a look and notice when people are lying. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to start to learn if someone's lying to you or not. And the people that have the most at stake are FBI agents. And one of their favorite and most relied upon tools is to notice if people go from still, like typically like a still body language, to fidgeting a lot, right? Fidgeting. Or if they go from fidgeting a lot to still, okay? And a lot of times when they do this is when the subject will change. So if they're talking about their family, right? And maybe how they got married or what their dog did last night, because they'll always try to engage the perpetrator in this manner to get them to be comfortable. And then they talk about the crime or certain people that they're associated with, then they may see their body language change dramatically. Because most of the time people communicate in very similar ways, whether they talk with their hands a lot or they're very still. It's hard for me to do. But if I started lying, I might be very still all of a sudden. But I'm telling the truth right now. So watch for that. Also, start to notice when people go from convincing or switch between convincing and conveying. Most of the time we convey information. But if I'm really trying to get you to believe something, my body language may shift and I may go into more of a convincing type tone. And I may go into a few too many details for what's necessary to get the information across. So again, you want to normalize what people do. Start to understand that their baseline behavior, and when they shift from that, you have a good idea that what's going on across from you isn't true. There's even a little bit more to detecting lies, because we want to stack tools in so that you have every tool possible to you to understand if someone's telling you the truth or a lie. So in neurolinguistics, there's a technique called eye patterning, and it works about half the time. So again, add up everything you know and start to make decisions based on that. If someone either defocuses their eyes when they answer or looks to your left, which would be my right, they may be constructing a picture in their mind of what they wished had gone on or what they wished maybe would be. Okay, so especially when you're detecting lies, you are trying to notice, okay, what actually went on. So if when people answer you, you ask them very pointed questions and they answer you and their eyes dart this way, you know they are constructing something, a picture in their mind, because where the eyes go, it's like a window to the soul. And so watch for this. It happens really fast. You have to get very good, really raise your sensory acuity. That's how much you're paying attention to whoever's across from you. But that may be the last piece that will help you determine if they're believable or not.